99X, it's Barnes and Leslie and the Morning X. Fram, we've been talking a lot about true crime and scams lately.
Love it.
Well,
Yes.
because there's no shortage.
It's educational.
I mean, there is no shortage.
No,
and
at all.
Everywhere you turn, there is some sort of scam. And it seems the older you get, the more you fall for them. Like those email scams are looking more and more legit. Like they're coming from Apple or they're coming from FedEx or whatever.
It's frightening, right?
We have one for you that happened in Atlanta that I think it would be good for you to pay attention to because it could easily happen to you, and if you're not paying attention, could get you kind of sideways in a myriad of ways. Please welcome Bert Langley to the show. Hey, Bert, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. And Bert, what part of town are you in, just for context?
Actually, we're in Vinings.
Okay. In Vinings. So I don't even know where you will start this story, but it's definitely a confusing one, so let's unwrap it.
We were at home after lunch, and FedEx came to the door. We weren't expecting a package, and he had a package that needed to be signed for. It was correctly addressed to the house with my last name. First name was one we weren't familiar with, but it could have been a garbled version of my wife's name. I went ahead and signed for it and took it inside, immediately opened it, and inside was a $14,000 Rolex.
Wow. Okay, so the name is scribbled. You're like, oh, this seems legit. Signature, hand you the package. You open it up. There's a Rolex, a legitimate Rolex inside. And then what happened?
Yeah, I thought it could have been a fake, but no, it was a legitimate Rolex. Invoice from a jeweler in Chicago that I quickly looked up on the internet, and it seemed to be legitimate.
Uh-huh.
So I called them and said, okay, I got your Rolex. What's the deal? And we talked a little bit, and they very clearly understood that this was some kind of scam. Now, they did nothing wrong. Somebody had hacked my American Express account and had charged it. They had all the information. They charged it. They sent it to my mailing address, which is the kind of thing American Express wants to happen on a charge like that.
Right.
The company was very happy that I was in contact with them. They quickly sent me a return label to get the watch back to them.
It sounds like you were not supposed to be home is what it sounds like to me. It sounds like you...
I've thought about that, but of course the package had to be signed for.
Yeah, sometimes they still leave it, though, I've noticed.
Did they hack you said they hacked your credit card, right?
Correct.
How?
And
they had the numbers.
But you didn't hear from the credit card company? Normally they reach out.
Normally they reach out on something like that, and we actually had a little discussion with American Express because it was way outside my normal purchases,
right?
Not so far outside that they thought it was a scam, and everything seemed to check out. But we've set it up now that I will definitely get alerts from them in the future.
So when you say your card was hacked, are you saying that someone wrote down your numbers, or are you saying someone got in on the computer?
I think somebody got, I do make a number of internet purchases, and I think somebody must have hacked one of the places I use that card. All
right, so you call Chicago, they say, yes, that's a Rolex, yes, you bought it, supposedly, and then what happens?
Well, they were very happy for me to send it back to them. Like I said, they sent a return label immediately.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I hung up the phone from them, however, somebody knocked on my front door again.
Oh, what?
And this was a young woman saying, I'm sorry, I'm from Amazon. We're here delivering packages, working with Federal Express, and we've switched labels on packages, and you got the wrong package.
Oh, so there's your porch pirate right there.
There's your porch pirate. They were either waiting for it to be dropped off to pick up and run with it. I think plan B was to come and try to convince me to give it to them.
You know what? They could have waited for the truck and then jumped out and act like they're doing yard work and say, oh, yeah, I got it, and sign for it.
I mean...
Sure, could have done anything like that.
You've been targeted. Like, how creepy.
It was a little creepy. She very, very quickly... She came up... Her story didn't quite add up. I mean, she was it was a classic scam kind of thing where she was giving you a frantic story. She was going to lose her job, blah, blah, blah. Well, Amazon drivers don't put labels on packages.
Yeah,
so immediately she couldn't have done that.
What was the profile of this girl?
Young, very attractive, very nicely dressed, Hispanic, very believable.
So you went outside and spoke with these people?
Well, it was at my front door, and she very quickly said, "Let me take it to the car and get this straightened out." And again, was very insistent, and it was clear she was insistent. She wanted to get that package to get to the car.
Wow.
I foolishly said, "Let me walk it to the car with you, and we'll see what we can do."
You're brave.
Well, hold on. What were you going to do with it? If you're going to, it's a watch, that...
If in theory, you try to give people the benefit, there really could have been a switch in packages, and something else that was delivered to somebody else was actually mine. And so anyway, we talked. Unfortunately, as soon as I said, "Let me walk it to the car," she went ahead. It was just at the head of my driveway, and I noticed there was someone else in the car, which is, again, of concern. She had a quick conversation in Spanish with the gentleman. By that time, I disengaged, moved back to the house, told her, "Go get the other package. We can work this out. We'll work it out, but leave." And they did. They got in the car and left.
When you walked to the car with her, were you already suspicious, or did you believe her?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, I wanted to believe her, but I was suspicious. She was just too insistent.
You're lucky they didn't pull a gun on you.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I said I foolishly stepped out of the house and walked to the car. And as soon as I saw them, I realized the other person in the car was at least wearing a seatbelt and was unlikely to get out of the car before I got back to the house.
Did you get the plates?
No, I could not see the license plate, and I had left my phone on the table when I was talking to other companies. I didn't have a chance to get any pictures. We have license plate readers in the neighborhood, though.
Oh, good. Did they get it?
I haven't even pursued that because, frankly, this is the kind of scam that, while it's a problem, I don't think would be followed through enough to...
but wait a second. You haven't called the police?
Did you?
No.
Oh,
what?
Bert, you have
there's
to.
There's cameras all over the neighborhood.
At this point, it is all suspicion, and we just wanted it over with.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes.
It seems pretty, not
you need
just
Detective
suspicious.
Barnes on the scene.
No, I mean, what could people learn from this is the question. So one, don't go outside.
Don't go outside, but second, be very careful what you sign for. If I had signed for that package and then given it to her, I would have been likely on the hook for it, since I received it, I signed for it, and it was charged on my account.
Yeah, that was...
And now, I have to admit, American Express and the jewelry company acted very, very quickly and very responsibly, immediately removed the charge. The watch was back to the jewelers 2 days later. In fact, it's on the internet now if you want to buy a $14,000 Rolex.
Okay.
I'm sorry this happened to you. I literally, though, I would be calling the police. Because they're going to do it to someone else.
I know what you're saying, how they're just going to sit on it and they're going to be like, whatever, well, it all worked itself out. But still, the fact that they sent, think about it. To you, maybe that's not a big deal. Of course it is, but not as big a deal as whoever that was a serious payday for them. I would have been concerned moving forward until that watch was out of my house that something could happen still at that point. That just freaks me out.
Yeah. Yes.
It was a little concerning that watch was out of my house that afternoon.
Damn. Boy, you're lucky they weren't aggressive, because that's just, that is scary. All right, Bert Langley, thanks for sharing your story.
Yes,
I think it is
thank
important.
you.
Hey, don't open your door. If you don't know the people, don't open the door. I'm not talking to you, Bert. Well, now I am. Don't open the door, Bert. All right.
Well, you have delivery people all the time.
I know, but still.
Wow.
But the latest scam also is they dress up like a delivery person to do bad things. So, you can't trust anyone these days, sadly. All right, Bert, thank you for sharing that story with us. Bert Langley over in Vinings.
All righty.
Have a good day. We'll see you later.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Dang.
When you hear about it all the time, if packages show up and you didn't order them and they deliver it to your house, that you could keep them. But his conundrum was that it was his credit card used to purchase it.
I'm still kind of surprised that he didn't hear from the credit card. Usually that's a warning when they see a large, hefty charge on your account.
Right,
Anyway.
they could have stopped it from the outset, like before it even got to his house. Anyway, true crime, man, it is everywhere. This is the original. It is 99X.